Hi guys, I'm Seth. Welcome back to Warthog Defense. In one of the many precise airstrikes of the war, Ukrainian forces unleashed a GBU-62 JDAM-ER glide bomb on Russian positions. This isn't just another strike, it's a message. A message that Russian defenses in occupied territories are no longer safe from above. Let's break down how this US-supplied smart bomb is reshaping the battlefield. A Ukrainian fighter jet has struck Russian positions with the GBU-62 JDAM-ER glide bomb, a US-supplied precision weapon capable of hitting targets over 70 kilometers away. The strike demonstrates Ukraine's growing ability to deliver high-impact blows far behind enemy lines, bypassing traditional air defense zones. With pinpoint accuracy and long-range capability, the JDAM-ER is changing the dynamics of the battlefield, turning once secure Russian rear positions into vulnerable targets. This isn't just another strike, it's a sign that modern air power is shifting the momentum. Ukrainian forces have made a notable advance along the northern border, pushing Russian troops out of most of Kindrativka in Sumy Oblast. Roughly 1.42 square kilometers of territory have been reclaimed, including the western part of the village, a small but symbolically important gain right on the frontier with Russia. The offensive comes amid one of the most intense Russian aerial bombardments of the war. In a desperate bid to hold the line, Russian aircraft dropped an estimated 250 Ka-B glide bombs on a single tree line nearby Andriivka, just 3 miles south of the border. The roughly 3-kilometer-long patch of woods may have briefly become the most bombed piece of land on the planet, but the saturation strike achieved little. Despite this overwhelming air assault, Russian forces, including the 22nd and 30th Motor Rifle Regiments and the elite 40th Marine Brigade, were unable to maintain their positions. According to military analyst Moklasen, they were really struggling near Kindrativka and in danger of being encircled. Cut off from supply lines and reinforcements, they ultimately withdrew over the weekend. The failed defense marks yet another setback for the estimated 50,000-strong Russian force deployed in the Sumy region. With Ukraine now applying pressure right on the border itself, the battle for northern Ukraine is entering a new and increasingly costly phase for Moscow. Ukrainian Special Operation Forces drone operators from the 8th Regiment are directing HIMARS and artillery strikes on Russian MiSTaB howitzers and BM-21 Grad systems in Kursk region. 5 MiSTaBs were damaged and 1 Grad launcher was destroyed. Ukrainian Special Forces continue to play a decisive role in the war, not just in direct combat, but in shaping the battlefield far behind enemy lines. The latest example comes from the 8th Regiment of Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, whose drone operators helped guide precision artillery and HIMARS strikes on Russian military assets inside Russia's Kursk region. Among the confirmed targets, 5 MiSTaB towed howitzers and a BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system, either damaged or completely destroyed. The 8th Regiment is one of Ukraine's most experienced SOF units, with deep operational history dating back to 2010. Based in western Ukraine, this regiment has adapted quickly to modern warfare, combining reconnaissance drones, satellite data, and precision strike coordination to disrupt Russian logistics and firepower. In the current war, their focus has shifted toward deep targeting, identifying and marking high-value targets behind the front lines and enabling artillery or HIMARS units to eliminate them with devastating accuracy. This type of operation is a hallmark of Special Forces tactics in the conflict. Rather than holding ground or storming trenches in large numbers, Ukrainian SOF are often deployed in small mobile teams that rely on stealth, real-time intelligence, and coordination with conventional forces. Their effectiveness lies not only in what they destroy, but also in how they force Russian units to constantly relocate, hide, and rethink their deployment patterns. The psychological pressure alone of never knowing which movement might draw a precision strike has proven to be a critical advantage for Ukraine. The destruction of Russian artillery is particularly important. Systems like the Mista-B and BM-21 Grad are the backbone of Russia's ground firepower, responsible for shelling Ukrainian positions and urban areas alike. Every destroyed piece of equipment matters, both tactically and logistically. Russia has lost thousands of artillery systems since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, and while its Soviet-era stockpiles are vast, they are not infinite. Replacing precision-grade howitzers and rocket launchers requires industrial capacity, transportation and trained crews, all under increasing strain. Ukraine's ability to degrade Russian firepower at the source is making a measurable impact. The rate of artillery and launcher destruction, especially in recent months, has grown thanks to Soviet-led operations and long-range precision systems like HIMARS. These attacks disrupt coordinated Russian offensives, reduce the tempo of bombardments, and gradually tip the balance in favor of Ukrainian mobility and survivability. What might seem like a single drone and a single strike is actually part of a much larger pattern, a war of attrition not only in numbers but in initiative and adaptability. In that space, Ukraine's special forces have carved out a deadly niche, striking where it hurts the most and leaving behind scorched metal and scattered plants. Chief of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov, said he plans to remain in his position until the war with Russia is over, according to an interview he gave to Bloomberg. Now, my dream is to stop this war. Ukraine is a country of opportunities. In future, I'll decide what I would like to do, said Chief of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov, in an interview at Bloomberg. This August will mark 5 years since his appointment. When reminded of this by the interviewer, Budanov added, "If I survive." He noted that during wartime anything can happen, and referred to a memorial inside the agency dedicated to intelligence officers who died in the line of duty. As of last year, there have been over 10 serious assassination attempts against Budanov since the start of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine. In the same Bloomberg interview, Budanov also stated that a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia should be reached and up as soon as possible, well before the end of this year. Is it realistic to do so? Yes. Is it difficult? No, but he said it takes at least 3 sides, Ukraine and Russia and the US, and we will get to these positions, he said. Keith Kellogg, US President Donald Trump's special envoy for Ukraine, has visited a training facility of the National Guard of Ukraine. Details: accompanied by NGU Commander Brigadier General Alexander Pevnenko, the US delegation observed the training of Ukrainian guardsmen and viewed their equipment and modern battlefield technologies. The delegation was shown tank and combat vehicle crews undergoing training and using simulators, drones and robotic systems. Ukraine's National Guard said Kellogg had praised the courage of Ukrainian soldiers and the high quality of their training, emphasizing that Ukraine's experience is valuable for other nations' armed forces. Another war crime: at least 2 people have been killed and 27 wounded in a Russian strike on central Dobropilya, according to Donetsk regional authorities. Rescue workers are battling fires and clearing debris to confirm the full toll. Russia continues targeting civilians.
Будемо чітко зрозуміти, яка кількість загиблих. Всім пораненим надана кваліфікована медична допомога, органи влади, поліція, підрозділи ДСНС.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.